Hello, everybody. It is. My damn camera. It is part five, the final part of the ACC prediction videos. We got the final three schools to go through here: Virginia, Virginia Tech, and Wake Forest. And then I'm going to run through the standings, how they stacked up. I'll start from the bottom to the top, and I'll give my prediction on the championship game and who's going to win it. So let's get to this right off the bat. We're starting off with the Virginia Cavaliers. They went 3-9 last year under head coach Tony Elliott, who's 6-16 in 2 seasons at Virginia. Not exactly the best situation going on for it. Maybe we wish he was back at Clemson. Maybe I don't know. But Vegas has the projected win total for them at 4.5. Kind of gives you an idea what they're in for. They're not expected to have a great year this year. The offense. The offense as a whole has got to improve. I mean, it's everything fell apart, and the main reason was the offensive line. I mean, 4 of your 5 starters are back in the offensive line, but the problem is they were inconsistent. They leaked like a sieve. They didn't block for the run. They didn't block for the pass, so the running game didn't go where. The quarterbacks are running for their lives. You don't get anything done. Now, Anthony Calandria and Tony Muskett are going to be battling for the job. We'll see which one of them gets it. The running back room has a little bit of players, but there's no depth. If they get hurt, it's going to really hurt them badly. Wide receiver room, they're okay. I guess they're okay. But the problem is for them is that they didn't get many catches, mainly because of the fact the offensive line was terrible. And if it doesn't improve, they won't get many catches this way. Because the fact is, not only did they throw the ball, they weren't that accurate. There was a lot, and consequently, there were a lot of picks thrown last year. So can they improve on that? The defense. Defense as a whole, it's got to improve. I mean, the defensive line, there was zero pass rush. We were talking about teams having 37 sacks and being mad about it. Virginia had 11 as a team last year. That is horrible. There was zero pass rush, which means the opposing offense has had all day to throw. Linebacking room, they're solid, and they have some guys who go out there. I mean, all their leading tacklers were their linebackers, which isn't that big of a surprise, but the problem is they're doing everything. They're the stars of the defense. The secondary, lost some guys, got improvement in the portal, brought players in from the portal, I should say. Can they improve as a whole? That's going to be a big help, but the problem is that they don't get a pass rush on the front end. I mean, there was some coming players who came in from the portal to help the pass rush. Will it translate? We don't know. So we're going to see about that one. So shall we get into the schedule here? We're talking about Virginia Cavaliers. Start off the season at home against Richmond. Yeah, what are we worried about here? You get the win there against that school. Then they're on the road at Wake Forest. This game, I kind of see Virginia and Wake in the same situation, but the difference is here is you'll hear about Wake's difference in schedule. They're about the same team to me, but scheduling plays a big part in how good you are. And I see them about even, so for me it's a coin flip game. You're on the road, so Virginia, you're losing to Wake Forest. Then you're at home against Maryland. Maryland, you lost by 28 on the road to Maryland last year, and they're going to beat your brakes off at home this year. So you're losing again, so now you're 1-2. And then you're on the road at Coastal Carolina. Coastal Carolina, G5 school of the Sun Belt. Yeah, they're good, and yeah, Virginia has problems, but you have enough talent to beat them. It's going to be close because you're on the road. I kind of thought a little bit about this. Could you possibly lose to Coastal Carolina? But I looked at their depth like, this is one of the ones I'm okay saying you're going to beat Coastal Carolina, but it's also put me if Coastal Carolina beat you, I would not be shocked. Now we have the bye week. This is where your schedule worked out well. You have 4 games, a bye, 4 games, a bye, and then 4 games. So it's evenly spaced. You come out of the bye at home against Boston College. If you watch part 1, you already know how this is going to go. You're beating Boston College. You're at home against Louisville, second week in a row at home. If you watched part 2, you saw how this one went. Yeah, Louisville beats you. At Clemson, following week. Yeah, you're losing that game as well. Home against North Carolina. You don't have the talent. I'm sorry. You're gonna lose to North Carolina. Then you got the bye week. You're at Pitt. If you watch part 3, you saw this video. Actually, North Carolina was also in part 3, but at Pitt on the road, you lose this game. At Notre Dame. You're traveling to South Bend to play Notre Dame, and you are. If this was 56-0, it wouldn't surprise me. Notre Dame's going to just obliterate you. And then you come back out of that game and you play SMU at home after getting annihilated by Notre Dame. And if you watch the SMU video, it was in part 4. You're not going to. I have you beating SMU. I have the one game. Tony Elliott has a tendency, one game, to do something good. This is the one game he's going to do something good. And then he finished the season on the road at Virginia Tech, in-state rivalry game. You lost by 38 at home last year. 38 at home. Now you're on the road, and you're losing again. So that makes you 4-8 on the season. So now the next one up, we got the aforementioned Virginia Tech Hokies. I mean, we had a season last year. They were 7-6 last year. I mean, they beat Tulane post Willie Fritz and everybody else leaving in the Military Bowl. Brent Pry, he's 10-14 in 2 seasons at Virginia Tech. He's starting to get things going here, but the first season wasn't too good. That was mainly because of the tragedies that happened in Virginia. Kyron Drones back as the starter. He needs to continue and improve, and he needs to really improve his accuracy because he wasn't as good as he could have been. The running back and wide receiver rooms, they're both solid. Not spectacular, but you got some good guys there. 4 of the 5 starters on the offensive line are back, which is a good thing for them, but can they keep improving? Because there were lapses last season. Is their consistency improving? We're going to find out about that. Defensively, as a whole, the entire Virginia Tech defense needs to improve. I mean, the defensive line is solid. You lost some players, but you picked some up in the portal, so hopefully this translates well. We won't know. We'll find out soon enough. The linebacker room, I watched you, look at you guys and look at some of the stats. Your linebacker room can be really damn good. Can be really damn good if they stay consistent and continue to improve. If not, I have a pretty good feeling that you're going to do that. The secondary, the biggest problem was they were the biggest problem of the defense last year. They did not force any turnovers. Not getting any picks. And you have to have that. You have a defensive line that's solid and making plays for you, but you still don't get picks. That's a problem. They brought in some players in the portal, but they need to be more consistent and to see how that's going to translate. So should we get to these games? All right, Virginia Tech starts off the season on the road at Vandy. You're a lot better than Vandy is, even though you're going to be traveling to Nashville to go on the road. I got you beat Vanderbilt. Then you're at home against Marshall, the Thundering Herd. We got a Marshall subscriber in the house. You lost by 7 on the road last year to Marshall. Very rarely can Marshall say that their name has been circled on the schedule by an opponent of a Power 4 school. Excuse me. But yes, Virginia Tech circled this game. They're out for blood, and sorry, Marshall, Virginia Tech is beating you. Okay, following game, on the road at Old Dominion. Old Dominion, you beat them by 19 at home last year. You're going to be traveling on the road. You have more talent. It may not be a big of a margin of victory, but you're still going to beat Old Dominion. Then you're at home against Rutgers. Now, Rutgers under Greg Schiano has doing things. They're improving. You lost by 19 on the road last year to them. You want a little bit of revenge. You want to get back at things here. There's a little more flux at Rutgers than there is at Virginia Tech. You're a lot more solid. You're getting behind here. And I'm picking you at home to avenge that loss and beat Rutgers. So, both of your losses, big schools, you're coming back and beating them. Then you're on the road at Miami. You watched part 2 of the videos. You lose to Miami. You know this. You come on the road at Stanford. This is the game. I saw part 4. You saw this. Cross-country travel hurts you. You get caught napping. You don't think they're that good. You cross the country. You're going to get caught sleeping and lose to Stanford. I know you don't like it, but that's what it's going to be. Then you got a bye week. Come out of the bye week after playing 6 games, because that's also a big factor in your Stanford loss. You played 6 games already. 5 games. This will be your 6th game. Injuries pop up. That's going to be a factor in that game. They have a bye week. You come out of the bye week at home against Boston College. You saw part 1. You saw how I predicted this one. You beat Boston College. Home against Georgia Tech. You already saw part 2. You saw how this conference games goes. I have you beating losing to Georgia Tech at home. It's a tough loss for you in this season. I get the reason why, but if you watch the videos, you'll see why. Next game, you're on the road at Syracuse. You two are about even. Saw I think it was part 4 of the predictions. You get, which was earlier today. They're starting to jumble together. At Syracuse, you're going to get the win there. Then you're at home against Clemson. This game, if you watch part 1, this is the one game that people are going to challenge me on. This is the one game that I went against a lot of people. And I'm picking you to upset Clemson at home. I think Clemson's got more talent. I think you're a lot closer than people think. And I think on the road, with that environment, Clemson thinking they can mail it in, you're going to catch them. Now you have your last bye week. You come out of the bye week at Duke. That's in the part 2 video. You're so high for that Clemson win that even with the bye week, you're losing to Duke. But you come back at home and you play Virginia. We just showed about the game, about how that happens. With you beat up Virginia last year. You're beating them up again. So you're winning the game. So Virginia Tech finishes the season 8-4. Now, last one in the conference. We're talking about the Wake Forest Demon Deacons. 4-8 last season. Dave Clawson, still there as head coach. He's now in his 11th season. He's 63-61 in 10 years at Wake Forest. Could he possibly be on the hot seat? I don't think so because they've never really had major talent. I mean, the quarterback room is in flux. It's Michael Curran going, but Hank Bachmeier, who is coming from Boise, I believe. I could be wrong on that one. I'm going off the top of my head on this. But yeah, Hank could be a stud. And hopefully he is one there. The running back room is solid. The wide receiver room needs to be a little more consistent and continue to improve. Offensive line, they have to improve. A little bit of inconsistency last season. They need to improve that offensive line. Defensively, you got a solid front seven. The front seven is good. The secondary, too. Boy. Very young, very inexperienced, very inconsistent. That has to improve, or you're going to get torched. All right, so let's get into this, shall we? We're talking about Wake Forest. You start off your season at home against North Carolina A&T. Yeah, you're beating North Carolina A&T. Your second game at home against Virginia. We just did this. You beat Virginia. Then you're at home again against Ole Miss. No shot. Ole Miss is beating the brakes off you. You lose that game. Then you come out of the bye. You have a bye week. Come out of the bye and you face Louisiana at home. G5 school, not the Louisiana that it used to be before under Billy Napier. This is a different Louisiana team. You're going to beat Louisiana. Then you're on the road at NC State. I've already gone through this on here. NC State's more talented, and you're on the road. It was in part 3 of the prediction videos. You beat NC State. You lose to NC State, excuse me. Then you're on home against Clemson. That was in part 1. You don't have a chance against Clemson. I'm sorry, you're losing that game. Then you're on the road at UConn. You notice you hear UConn a lot of ACC schools. I think UConn intentionally scheduling ACC schools in their non-con to not only improve their status, but to also improve how things go, how they may to put themselves in light for ACC schools for possible expansion possibilities. We'll see. But anyway, you're at UConn, on the road in Stores. You're still beating them. Then you're on the road following week at Stanford. I already covered this. West Coast travel. It's gonna cost you. You've already played 5 games. This is your 5th game in a row. You're gonna lose to Stanford. Then you have a bye week. You come out of the bye at North Carolina. North Carolina is just more talented. I already covered this as well. North Carolina's far more talented than you are. You're going to lose to North Carolina. You're on the road at Miami. Again, more talented program. Already covered this. You're losing to Miami. To finish off, you finish off the season at home against Duke. That was covered in part 2. You pull off, after all that struggle at North Carolina, Miami, you pull off a big win for yourself and you beat Duke to get your 6th win of the year, to be bowl eligible at 6-6. So congratulations to Wake Forest. So now, how does the ACC finish up? Out of all these standings, we got 17 schools here. We're going to go from the bottom up. A lot of schools Two schools tied for 2 and 6 in conference. That's Duke and Virginia. They were in the bottom of the conference, but Virginia gets bottom outright because they were 4 and 8. Duke was 5 and 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 schools had 3 and 5 in conference. And we're talking SMU, Cal, Syracuse, Pitt, Wake Forest, Stanford, and Boston College. All 3 and 5. The first 6 were 6 and 6. Stanford and Boston College were 5 and 7. Only one school was 4 and 4. That was Virginia Tech in conference. They finished 8 and 4 for the season. 3 schools at 5 and 3. North Carolina, NC State, and Georgia Tech. Now, North Carolina and NC State were 8 and 4. Georgia Tech was 7 and 5. But Georgia Tech beat North Carolina and NC State. They beat them both, so they get that spot. Now, 3 schools are tied at 6 and 2, second place. Louisville, Clemson, Miami. Wait, Florida State is 7 and 1 in conference, 10 and 2 overall. Florida State's in the ACC Championship game. So which of these 6 and 2 schools got it? Miami, Clemson, Louisville, they didn't play each other. So what I use for a tiebreak? Florida State. Miami beat Florida State. Clemson didn't. So Miami will be challenging Florida State for the ACC Championship and losing to Florida State in the ACC Championship. You beat them the first time round. They are not going to let that happen again. Coach Norvell, they want the revenge tour. They want to prove something. They're going to beat you. So Florida State beats Miami to win the ACC Championship. So that concludes my ACC prediction videos. Tell me what you think about everything down in the comments. So thanks everybody for watching the video. If you haven't done it already, please do me the favor. Smash the like button. Hit the thumbs up. It helps with the algorithm. Helps the video be seen by more people. Comment on the video. You agree with Virginia Tech and Wake Forest predictions. Like I said, Clemson, Miami, Louisville all tied for 6 and 2. They didn't play each other. It might be a point tiebreak, but I went the tiebreak for this one since I don't have points in front of me. Miami beat Florida State, Clemson didn't. Louisville didn't even play them. So I got to give the tiebreak to Miami because they beat the number 1 team. So that's why I have Florida State against Miami for the ACC Championship. If you don't agree with that, let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Share this video if you want to, and if you haven't done it already, everyone who subscribed to the channel, thank you. If you haven't subscribed already, check out some of the other videos I've done. There's more than just prediction videos, but there's going to be a lot of prediction videos over the next few weeks because that's what we got to do to get ready for the start of the season. She's going through here, and if you like all the videos I've done, subscribe to the channel. You know, hey, on the way to 700 subscribers, following the road to 1,000, we're making ourselves good, making some things happen. So again, thanks everybody for watching. Thanks for tuning in for this afternoon video. Have a video set tomorrow. That's going to be live from the truck because I record all these from the house because I want to make sure they all got done. Friday from the truck. Subscriber roll call. That's coming up. So, thanks everybody for watching the video. Hope everybody's having a great day. Be safe out there and please be good to each other.